Transform your life. Transform your future. It's Transformation Tuesday. It's Transformation Tuesday. Well, what's up? What's up? It's Transformation Tuesday, and I am coming to you with the conversation with Mr. Malcolm Elliott about love in a relationship. So I have some questions for him, and he might answer them or he might not. Let's see what happens. Okay, so basically, this is Love Month, and we are focusing on, do you think in marriage that love in marriage takes a lot of work?
Absolutely. It's nothing but work.
Wait a minute. You think it's nothing but work? Why?
Because, I mean, it seems like every day, every week, something new pops up. You're growing, the other person's growing, so, you can't stay the same. So, you
always have to work at the relationship.
Right, and then when things aren't going as smooth as you would like, it takes work to not take the easy road and bounce. It takes work to stay and make things work.
Right. So follow us on YouTube so that you can hear the rest of our conversation. So anyway, it does take work so you don't bounce. Do you think that though people come into relationships not realizing how much work it takes to be married?
Yeah, I think a lot of us come into a relationship for a lot of reasons. It's fun, or the person's attractive.
Yeah.
It's new, but you're not really looking at all of the
components like love. I know in my first message on Tuesday, I talked about love has different aspects. Like you have compromise and giving in, you have arguments, you make up. So it's a lot of different pieces of a relationship that people they come into the marriage not realizing all of those are the components to being married. So what do you think is one of the things that you've learned the most about working in a relationship? I would say mine would be compromise. Maybe because at first I wanted it all to be my way. So I think that would be the thing that I learned the most in a marriage. So when you love somebody, you got to make sure that you compromise, because if it's always one way, then of course that other person's needs aren't going to get met. So I'm sure when I wasn't compromising, Malcolm's needs didn't get met, or vice versa. So what do you think you've learned the most?
Compromising, everything's not going to be your way, of course, but being able to, when you're frustrated, looking at the brighter side of things, it's things as far as I'm concerned, this is gonna pass. We'll be straight, so. It's easy to just be like, I'm out, deuces, see you later,
Right.
but,
Right, even with me. So if Malcolm and I had a little discussion and he wanted to go take a walk or go somewhere, I would be like, I'm going to have an attitude when you get back. It was like, it wasn't like, oh, okay, I'm going to calm down too. I just wanted to be mad. Malcolm would say, I love to argue. But I don't think that I love to argue. I just wanted it my way. That's all. So, yeah, I think that dealing with the frustrating parts of it and not walking out is key. I always said Malcolm's the glue to our marriage because he should have left me a long time ago. Well, that was when I was crazy. I'm not crazy anymore, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You better.
So, yeah, definitely it takes a lot of work. I think that the one thing that I can work on the more so now, which we will chat about in our next session, is maybe better communication. So I'll be like, Malcolm, I told you, didn't you remember I told you that? And he's like, yeah, no. Maybe because I say so much. So anyway, communication may be another piece that can be worked out and improved in the marriage. What do you think?
What, communication?
Yeah.
Oh, communication is key. It's number one. Even in great relationships, or people who say they have perfect relationships.
They say. They're pretending. No, I'm just kidding. Some people aren't, some people are. But
communication is key, so.
It's definitely key. So anyway, in our next video, we'll talk about that, communication, because love takes compromise, which we talked about, and learning to stick through it, and communication. So maybe you'll get to hear from us, maybe our communication styles when we started, and maybe where we came from, and how we improve now. So lots to chat about. Anyway, we are so glad you tuned in, and that hopefully you learned something that you and married couples, or you that are thinking to get married, specifically you guys that are thinking to get married. Love is work. Yes. And we've had to learn to compromise. And we learned that we have to stick to it if we want our relationship to continue. Because if you get out, you don't get to work on the problems that could have been resolved. Then we're going to talk about communication. So those are the 3 things that we focused on today, and we'll chat more about communication in our next video. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you learned something. And we are the Elliotts. Peace. Smooches. Mwah. And I'm out.